the Irrational Confidence Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Irrational Confidence Podcast. We are talking baseball here. It is springtime. The flowers are blooming. It's kind of that weird rainy time here down in Florida, but players, pitchers, and catchers are reporting to spring training right now. And I'm joined by my co-hosts, Fresh, how you doing, buddy?
Baseball season is always a fun time of year. I think we're in fake spring or fake winter, second winter here in Florida. I don't know. We're one of the two. But that just right there means, activities all around the state for spring training here in Arizona and Florida. But one thing I think even better, our tonight's topic and really a special guest is talking about Jacksonville and the baseball history here, but also our Jacksonville, Jumbo Shrimp and the engagement, the activities, the fun, family environment that's down there, and how that all comes together every single summer here in the River City.
Yeah, it's really cool that we have a guest on tonight that we get to talk to. It's interesting because we've talked for years, Fresh, that we're out of Jacksonville here, and a lot of people don't, if you're not from Jacksonville, you don't know that there's a minor league baseball team down here, but it's one of the most fun things to do in all of Jacksonville. So joining us tonight, we're going to be talking about, there's a lot of things going on downtown, a lot of renovations to the baseball stadium. We're joined by the Vice President of Marketing and Media, Mr. Noel Blaha. I hope I said this right. Yeah. I was practicing that one as well. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. Love talking all things Jacksonville and specifically Jumbo Shrimp, and we've got some exciting stuff going on for sure.
Yeah. So before we get into what's going on here in Jacksonville, your resume, the most intriguing thing outside of being a good Ohio man, which I appreciate personally. But the fact is, you put on a home run derby on the USS Yorktown. How did you pull this off?
That was one of my career highlights. 2012, I was working with the Charleston River Dogs in the South Atlantic League there in Charleston, South Carolina. And in the Charleston Harbor, the USS Yorktown is docked. It's a naval history museum that you can go and tour, and a lot of Boy Scouts spend the night there. And we had a pretty awesome ownership group. And one of my mentors there with the River Dogs was Mike Veck, son of a longtime Indians owner, Bill Veck, and Hall of Famer Bill Veck. But Mike really challenged us to come up with something cool to do for that All-Star game, because All-Star games, part of the All-Star weekend is always a home run derby. And truthfully, home run derbies can kind of get boring, especially at the minor league level. So we thought, you know what? We were driving over the big bridge in Charleston one day, and I looked out the window and we looked at and saw the aircraft carrier. And this was before they had done the basketball games and stuff on the aircraft carriers around the country. And we thought, what if we did the home run derby from the flight deck? And we said, okay, let's go with it. And so we did that, had that idea, and Miller Lite sponsored it, and Bill Murray, who was one of our co-owners, got things going. He hit the first ball off the aircraft carrier, and the Miller Lite guy was there, the old delivery guy from the commercials, the Living the High Life guy. He was there. He has since passed away, so it was really a special day to be able to do that. We didn't know until the day of the home run derby what was going to happen. We didn't know if the wind was going to blow the balls right back in, what was going on. But we had, because it's a harbor and there's sea life and wildlife, we had our staff on jet skis to scoop up the balls, so no dolphins or porpoises were swallowing baseballs.
That's awesome.
There were boats all around the harbor watching it, and we took the hacks up there. Once the players got done with their rounds, we did a charity deal where people could pay to take a few swings there themselves, and it was a really fun event. Ended up winning a golden bobblehead for promotion of the year in all of minor league baseball. So really a proud moment for me specifically.
That is really cool. I mean, Patriots Point is already like a majestic area, but having that little extra layer on there that's pretty special memory.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Did you take any swings?
I did. I actually hit the last ball. I wanted to make sure I let everybody do their stuff, and I looked around and grabbed the bat and pointed at the pitcher and said, bring one in here. And so I got to knock the last one into the harbor.
Nice. Well, if you do it in Jacksonville, I think Fresh and I will definitely volunteer to be on the jet ski ball retrieval committee there.
There we go. I love it.
That would be a highlight. Just don't get stuck in the same place.
Right. So a lot of things going on downtown with the Jumbo Shrimp here. I love, was formerly the Jacksonville Suns. And for those of you who are listening and don't really know, The Jumbo Shrimp are the AAA affiliate with the Miami Marlins. And it has a rich history here, dating all the way back to the Montreal Expos. And it's a really good baseball town down here, especially for minor leagues. Some really cool promotions. But the cool thing is right now is that the whole stadium is going through a renovation right now. Why don't you talk a little bit about what fans are going to experience and how you guys got something done for a minor league ballpark like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think you hit on it first and foremost. Baseball history in Jacksonville goes back to the 1800s. It's the site of the first spring training. So, we were mentioning the Cactus Leagues and the Grapefruit League here leading into it, just getting pitchers and catchers reporting. The first ever spring training was held in Jacksonville. So there's a long history. Negro League team played here. We play as the Red Caps every year to pay homage to them. We're one of the handful of stadiums still around that house Negro League baseball in Durkeeville. So really, really cool baseball history. But something that was great that happened with the Better Jacksonville plan in the early 2000s was a brand new ballpark at the time in 2003, the baseball grounds of Jacksonville. And, won major awards, ballpark of the year, great attendance, things were great. That was 2003. It's 2025. And in that time, really no major renovations to the ballpark had taken place. When our current owner, Ken Babby, took over and I was able to join his team here in Jacksonville, we did some renovations, added the Tiki Terrace, renovated some suite level stuff and added some different swivel seats in the crustacean corner. But really, other than minor tweaks here and there was never really any big renovations. So leading into last year, we were able to work with the city of Jacksonville and ASM Global to designate some funds to upgrade the facility. It goes in concert with some requirements from Major League Baseball. With the new agreement between Major League and minor league teams, there's some standards that hadn't been updated in a long time. And so there's a lot of standards and back of house stuff that you might not necessarily see as part of the improvements, but you will see some major stuff this season, including a brand new building in right field that will house on the ground level a souvenir store. So our merchandise has been off the charts since we've rebranded and done some of our different colorways and different stuff with that as well. And currently the store sits on the concourse level. So if you can picture coming into the ballpark, you got to come in, you got to come up to the second floor. Right now, the way it stands, somebody has to walk you and escort you up there. So this new building in right field is going to have a ground level souvenir store. So it'll be easy access, 365, right from the ground level parking lot. There you'll be able to walk right in and shop. The other half of that is going to be for our new front offices for our staff. So when you think about how things have changed in sports and specifically minor league baseball since 2003, at that time, staffs were pretty small and the merchandise operation was operating maybe from April to September when the games were going on. We've certainly outgrown that model for the store. So we're going to have a new store that's about 2.5 times the size of the current one. And then we're going to have an office that is, that staff that inhabited the ballpark in 2003 was probably 12 people. We're at over 30 full-time employees right now. Wow. So we're kind of bursting at the seams and really excited to get into our own office space. So that's the ground level of this multi-story building. The concourse level, which is going to be on the same level as the concourse for the rest of the ballpark, is going to have kind of a banquet space, kind of a club-ish space that overlooks the field with some garage doors opening up on the field side, some glass on the other side looking towards the football stadium. And then there'll be some balcony like mezzanine seats that basically when you're sitting in them, it's going to feel like you're on the shoulders of the right fielder. And so the idea there is it'll be a $15 ticket and that'll gain you access into that club space right behind for a bar and different food offerings that are in there, bathroom that's up there as well. You'll still be able to traverse the ballpark 360 degrees on either side of that building. And that's going to bring you down into center field, which is going to be our new Baptist Health Center Field Plaza. So right now, when you enter the ballpark, you're parking wherever you may park, you're walking all the way around and you're coming to the home plate gate. So instead of making you walk all the way around, come to home plate, then go upstairs to get to the concourse, we've got what we've dubbed the new front porch to the ballpark. And that will welcome you in at a main gate in center field. There's cool. Going to be the batter's eye will be there and it's going to be able to open up. So when you walk in, you'll be able to see the field. You'll see BP going on. And it's kind of like if you've been to the Braves new stadium, kind of like the Battery feeling out there. We want to create like a welcoming party zone that's out there before the game. So that's going to be probably the biggest change you'll see. Is we're going to try and re-educate people to enter through center field and really start your experience out there. So we're really, really excited about those big changes.
Nice. Being someone who's come to Jumbo Shrimp / Sun games for what? I think we've been here for 20 years now, Seth.
Yeah.
It's going to stink not having the bleachers in the right field, especially on Thursday, but having that kind of new bar setting and sort of venue out there be a nice little more modern look to it. I think people will really migrate out that direction and be able to enjoy that experience.
Yeah, I think losing the bleachers, and my family always enjoyed watching the fireworks from out there. We won't lose the $5 ticket, so we still will have a $5 general admission ticket, lowest ticket price in town for any sort of event and across minor league baseball. So that will still get you a general admission ticket to the grass berm areas and some of the other first come first served seating areas like the Coors Light Tiki Terrace. So we're still really happy to be able to have that. And then that new building and the new experience really is going to mesh with the rest of the park. One of the big things that we said to the designers is we don't want this to look like it just fell out of the sky and landed on top of the bleachers. So I think the construction team and the design team has done a really nice job of matching the brick and matching the feel of the existing ballpark. So when you look at it, it's going to be new and different, but it's going to look like it belongs.
Perfect. I think that's really cool. We saw the renderings; they look really neat. Speaking of new things coming at the ballpark and merch you were talking about, did you guys drop some new stuff this afternoon? I saw online.
Today was the formulation of a labor of love of a pet project of mine. We announced our first alternate identity. Alternate identities are big across minor league baseball now. And, when we rebranded from the Suns to the Jumbo Shrimp, we kind of put our noses up and said, we don't need an alternate identity. We're going to be the Jumbo Shrimp and be that. And so for 8 years, we've been only the Jumbo Shrimp, but this was our first alternate identity that we dropped today as the Jacksonville Honey Drippers, which is a great and delicious fruit-filled frozen snack that is quite popular in downtown Jacksonville, specifically out east, the neighborhood right next to the ballpark. And dropping the merchandise, I love the colors, I love the vibrancy of it. We had a tremendous response on social media today. Really, really excited about it.
Yeah, it looked really cool. The way the colors sort of pop, and I think everybody kind of likes. I think it's similar to like a City Connect kind of version where you kind of want to have the extra alter ego, and it really just draws in people. And now, as we're seeing across sports, the normal traditional logos they're great, but people like retro and they like alternative. And how you can keep rebranding and adding in extra layers to your merchandise and your team identity is really, really cool.
Well, and I think too, we want to be very intentional when we do stuff like that. We partnered with a honey dripper lady who has a honey dripper truck just a few blocks away from the ballpark. We want to be able to shine a light on that community. It's kind of underserved, really, when you look at the different sporting options in town. So really connecting to our neighborhood, being a welcoming and inviting place for everybody, and the opportunity to be able to put the spotlight on some of those businesses and organizations that are right just across the expressway from the ballpark.
One other thing, now we are talking about spring training, but college baseball is already underway. I saw Ohio State's in town this week hosting an event. Obviously, we get Florida State multiple matches throughout the year. So kind of give us a layer of how those conversations are started with those programs to get them to come into Jacksonville and use the facilities and use the ballpark to their advantage.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way that the ballpark is a city facility, but we are the main tenant, and we can operate and we can do events like we do with family movie nights and high school baseball and different things like that as well. We work in concert with the city to land some of these events. Sometimes the city puts them on. So like the Florida State game is an annual event that the city of Jacksonville puts on. So they operate that in partnership with us. This weekend, we work with a company called Peak Events. And they put on these collegiate baseball kind of round robin 4-team tournaments across the country, mostly in the South. And they try to get some ACC, SEC team from the North, and then just a random team in there as well. And so that's kind of where we've got this weekend with Alabama, Ohio State, NC State, and Coastal Carolina coming here to Jacksonville to compete in that. And so they identified us as a market that they wanted to put these tournaments on. This will be the second year. We kicked it off last year. They've been really impressed with the facility and the upgrades that are happening and going on. And we hope that relationship can continue to grow with the Peak Events folks that put on that event. But then we're also always in conversation with JU and UNF. I mean, personally, I'd love to get a Mayor's Cup going where they play one game at JU, one game at UNF, and then they play the Sunday matchup downtown at the ballpark, which would be really cool. But we're always there if they ever want to host a team where they think they can outsell the tickets that they have on campus. We're certainly open to those conversations as well.
I mean, college baseball, you mentioned Ohio State, solid Northern team, but then Alabama, NC State, and Coastal Carolina. Those are NCAA tournament teams every single year, just about. So that's an elite talent coming down here. I know in the past, early 2000s, around the ballpark just opened up. They had ACC tournament here for years, which is really cool. JU, UNF, amazing baseball powers in the area that I don't think get enough love. So having that environment, plus having the Marlins involved, you guys are active almost 24/7, right? What is a typical off season? Now you're kind of ending that. What's a typical off season at the ballpark for?
I mean, anymore, there is no off season. I tell people my calendar flips to the next year around Thanksgiving. We get a little bit of downtime in October, but really, the sales season picks back up. We want to renew partnerships. We want to renew ticket holders. We want to find new partners with that stuff as well. But at the same time, we want to, especially as new event spaces come online at the ballpark, we want to activate the ballpark every month of the year. We want, when there's no baseball going on in the off season of the baseball, we want at least 2 public events and 5 to 10 private events at the ballpark throughout the year. So we're always looking for ways to bring new visitors into the ballpark, whether it be for, chamber functions, breakfasts, banquets, holiday dinners, things like that. We think that this new event space in right field is really gonna help us bring in some business in that way as well. But, I harken back to one of the things that got us here is affordable family fun and the $1 family movie nights. So we've got our next one coming up coming up soon with Despicable Me 4. You just pay $1 to get in. You put your blanket on the outfield grass, kick back and watch the movie up on the video board.
Yeah. I think one of the things that really drew me into, the Suns and the Jumbo Shrimp, because as Fresh said, we've been in this area for about 20 years now, is every year doing the matchups with the high school teams getting to play one game on the baseball facility. And again, correct me if I get the details wrong here, but the kids get to use the locker rooms. They get to sit in the dugout. They get to kind of go through the feeling of playing on a special ballpark. And I mean, again, I'm a little bit older. I've seen some of these nicer ballpark facilities here, but at the high schools, but growing up, it was a dirt patch usually behind the school, and you're lucky if you had bleachers on the first baseline and the third baseline. Yeah. This is just such a cool opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome. It is awesome. We partner with DCPS each year, and we do a week-long round of high school games, 2 a day. And that's really, really cool. And we also then open up another week to private schools who want to reach out to us and work with us on that too. And then also, one of the things that we've added is the High School Heritage Classic. So Rains and Revolt, 2 historically black high schools in the area. We try to get it around Black History Month. Huge rivals on the athletic field, mostly in football, a little bit in basketball. And again, we feel that the baseball programs were probably a little underserved. So we put the spotlight on them for a game. That's coming up on March 7th. It's a Friday night under the lights at the ballpark. And we outfit them in Jack's Red Caps jerseys and uniforms. Oh, wow. And the kids keep those. And
that's awesome.
These are 2 programs that aren't getting the love, aren't getting the attention. And we put them under the lights. They're in the clubhouses. The look on their face when they walk in and they see the jersey and the hat hanging in there, and they get to keep those and take those home is really, really cool. And they play for the A. Philip Randolph Cup. And it's really been something cool that we've been able to do, and we're looking forward to hosting that too. But yeah, all the high school athletes, whenever they come through, their eyes are kind of big, and it's memories. And I've talked to guys that are probably in their 30s that can remember doing this when they were in high school, and it's really, really cool memories to be able to provide those kids.
So, your opinion only. I'll say not endorsed by the Jumbo Shrimp here, because we don't want the Jumbo Shrimp playing favorites. If you had to say, in just your humble opinion, which DCPS school has the best baseball program in the county?
Man, I'm not qualified.
Top 3.
I'm not even qualified to take a stab or a guess. No chance I could be qualified for that. I mean, my kids are going to go to Sandalwood High School, so I know the Saints have a strong historic program.
They do.
So I'll stick up and be a homer for the Saints.
There you go, man.
Safe
There's
play.
nothing wrong with doing that.
So talk about education and giving back to the community and kind of growing a career. So Steph and I both went to Flagler. I actually got my undergrad in sport management, graduated there. I got my master's in sport management at JU. Actually kind of started their master's program in sports administration. Worked 6 years there as the director of marketing and ticketing in the athletic department. So it's been a while. I kind of left that life in 2013. From your perspective now, being a career lifer and having the career you've had, what advice can you give someone who's looking to get involved into sports, into athletic administration, into marketing? Like, it's a grind, I know, but it takes a lot.
My advice is go to law school. Only kidding. But although a law degree could be helpful in the sports world, no, I think I get that question a lot, and I think just learn as much as you can. Stay in contact with people. The famous saying is, it's not what you know, but who you know. And I always like to take that one step further. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So yeah, I might be able to say, hey, I know Seth, I know Fresh, but if somebody said my name to you, would that ring a bell? So making those contacts and sticking it out. I think also probably getting as much experience in a vast variety of different things. You find out stuff about yourself. You find out stuff about the industry that you might not know if it existed, or a route that didn't make itself known when in your classroom experiences. So just getting that experience out there, getting to know people, and then continuing to follow up with them for sure.
I agree. I mean, you hit everything that I've kind of went through my career there at JU, where you're going to take on little jobs. You're going to do stuff that you think is unorthodox. I mean, I never thought I'd have a microphone and be on the middle of a basketball court running a promotion, but you kind of go through those, and it's a grind. You just got to keep meeting people, showing, improving yourself, and being flexible. I think that comes not just for this, but for baseball in general. It's a grind. You've got to be in for the long haul.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been very fortunate, over the last 20 years, I've only worked for two different organizations, and there are two ownership groups that I think stand out amongst all the minor league baseball teams. So Ken, our current owner here in Jacksonville, Ken Babby with Fast Forward Sports Group, just a tremendous owner, operator, and just is a great person to learn from and work for on the day to day. And then when I was in Charleston, the Gold Clan Group was an excellent ownership group as well.
Awesome. Stability at the top helps everyone keep growing and find support.
Yeah.
So looking forward to 2025. What if I'm again, Fresh and I both here in Jacksonville, what kind of promotion should we look forward to? What outside of all these new improvements going on in the ballpark, the affordable ticket prices? I know we still got the Thirsty Thursday nights, right? Those aren't going away?
They're not going anywhere. Yeah.
No 10-cent beer nights here though, right?
I listened to that. I listened to that podcast the other day. It's funny when I previously worked for Mike Veck, he always said, the old man, Bill, always wanted to point out that wasn't a Veck promotion.
Yeah.
So that was a while.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad, that was my dad. He was actually there at 10-cent beer night. But
that's so cool.
What you guys got going on for this season that might be new for this season, or something maybe you're bringing back from previous years?
Yeah, we're gonna have a really cool bobblehead this year. As you can tell, I kind of collect a few of those, so I'm excited to bring out a bobblehead of a Jacksonville Hall of Famer. We haven't released all the details yet, so that'll serve as a tease, as they say in the biz.
I like that.
So I'm excited for that bobblehead to come out. And then something that's going to be new this year is on Wednesdays, we're going to do a T-shirt giveaway on Wednesdays. We're calling it Wear at Home Wednesdays. Just kind of to drive that weekday traffic. And we've come up with some really unique, cool, fun T-shirt designs on the Wednesdays, which will be good. And, it's something that with all of the changes and the fresh things at the ballpark too, that I'm really just excited for, is a completely new food and beverage experience, and something that I've been wanting at the ballpark for the 9 years that I've been here. I'm happy to say this year we're actually debuting barbecue at the ballpark. Ooh. We're gonna have a pit master. We're gonna have a pit concession stand, and just like a traditional barbecue shack, some of the meat specials, when they're out for the day, because we're literally smoking them on site there. So I'm really, really excited for that to debut down the right field line.
And with scheduling, so I think some people might not be aware how minor league baseball has gone through a change. Around COVID kind of hit, but now, correct me if I'm wrong, to accommodate travel, homestands are usually a team gets a Tuesday through Sunday, and then they're on the road the next week.
That's right. Yeah, we have 75 home games, so obviously 75 on the road for 150 games total. But yeah, the typical format now is the team is home Tuesdays through Sundays, which I really like. I've been in a couple different leagues where you had 3 game homestands, and then you had a 10 game homestand, and then a two, and you never knew if you're coming or going. But I love the fact that I can look at my family and be like, hey, every Monday this summer I'm going to be home having dinner with you, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I think it helps with travel, but also it really helps the people who are working because that schedule can be a grind in the summer. You're not knowing where you're at.
Definitely.
Well, this has been absolutely awesome, man. I can't wait for it. My son is just now getting into baseball. He's getting into all sports. So I'm really looking forward to this summer. I tried to do last year, got rained out. This is summer. We'll be down there, though, at least once or twice over the course of the summer. So
That's
looking
awesome.
forward to this season.
Yeah, hit me up. I'd love to host you guys and your families at a ball game or two.
Yeah, absolutely,
awesome.
man.
We'd love that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, man. And again, it sounds like there's so many cool things. So if you live in the greater Jacksonville area, or if you're from Ohio, driving down 95 and going down to Disney World or something like that, stop and make sure you check out Jumbo Shrimp's game, because it is a really, truly remarkable experience what they got going down here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's a staple of Jacksonville, no matter what, whether you're in middle, South County, South Georgia, out west, come on into Jacksonville, celebrate the time. It's beautiful, beautiful ballpark. It does not face the sun, so you're blocked out of that. The sun's not looking at your eyes. You're okay, but it is a great time across the board.
All right. Well, you guys have been listening to another episode of the Irrational Confidence Podcast. Make sure you check out SpinnableSports.com, because the Irrational Confidence Podcast is part of Spinnable Sports. Special thanks to our guest and our producer, Drew. Without him, none of this is possible. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. Leave us that 5-star, because you guys know Fresh and I, we're those 2 5-star prospects. Hey, like and subscribe if you get your podcast on Apple Pod, Spotify, all of those different places. Fresh, that's all I got for today. This is a fun time. We're in that off season, but spring is around the corner and baseball is here.
Spring is coming. Baseball's here. Everybody, hit us up on SpinnableSports.com. Hit us up on the socials. Spread the word. Subscribe. And make sure you hit up the Jumbo Shrimp all summer long. And with that, bye, y'all.